Hi. I have been feeling really grateful the last couple days for some clarifying experiences with people in my life that have come into my life or been in my life, and I've kind of had some conflict with as I've tried to set boundaries about how I want to be treated and not treated, and I've not perfect in my communication skills by any means, and so I'm sure I could have done a lot better in the cases that I'm thinking about. But nonetheless, the fact is that I am feeling grateful because I feel like it really saved me a lot of time and energy to just be more authentically true to myself and those boundaries that I want to set. And even though I am going to work on how I articulate those boundaries in a kinder, less aggressive way in the future, I'm still really grateful that it brought a quick close, a quick, sharp close to what could have otherwise been a long, drawn out process at other points in my life. I've had a lot of my life I have spent having relationships that didn't really make me happy in various ways. And not that there was anything wrong with the person in the relationship, me or the other person, or even the relationship itself, other than it was many of my relationships have been stuck uh, in a kind of mutually stagnant holding pattern. When I think about it, I think it's due to laziness, really. Maybe that's too harsh of a word, and I should rephrase it. But due to wanting that security and that simplicity of relationships with a low bar, basically, a low standard leads to a real easiness. You can offend each other. You can, you're not holding each other to a very high standard of how you treat each other or how you treat yourselves. And so it's easy, it's secure in its own way. And in fact, there are indeed more people that would meet me there than would meet me in a higher state. And probably that's just because that's where I've spent a lot of my time attracting my current state. And so that's what's familiar to me. But as I explore changing my own mental state and my own point of attraction, my own vibration, I am calling better quality people, people who are holding themselves to a higher standard for how they want to be treated and how they treat others. Some of those people are actually from my past, and some of them are I'm just meeting, and some of them have been in my life, but I'm learning to cultivate those relationships in more healthy ways and pay more regular attention to those relationships, those people that I want in my life, basically, and to let go of the relationships, and in some cases, kind of harshly put up a firm boundary about the relationships, which through no fault of the other person, just simply through the dynamic that is happening in that relationship, those relationships have become toxic in both directions. It's really never one-sided, although of course from any one side, from my position, it feels sometimes like the other person is attacking me or being toxic. But I can examine it from a higher perspective and see that it's never one-sided. It's always two people reflecting in each other what they are denying in themselves, what they're needing to work on. And so those relationships that have been toxic to me, I'm sure are toxic to the person on the other side of that relationship as well. And I don't think that any relationship is beyond evolving into something better, but I do think sometimes it's most appropriate to just put a pause, put a hold, even completely block a relationship for the time being, because life is long and short, and there's a lot of people on this planet. So why not at least start off with a point of, a point that feels good as far as where you want to grow from in a relationship. And so, anyway, back to where I started. Of every now and then, I'm becoming aware of a start of a relationship or an ongoing relationship that really doesn't feel good. There's something about it that just doesn't feel right, and I'm learning to just address that. And sometimes it's painful to push through that discomfort, but what it does is bring clarity to that relationship, either by getting past it and evolving it into a better place, as thankfully has happened with my mother recently in some of our very minor conflicts. But in the past, those could have escalated into something more major. And in this case, we're doing a better job of navigating them into something more positive. And in other cases, I have one in particular very close friendship that I had over the years that I've had to let go of and really put up a firm boundary about, because I've started to recognize that I was just has been for a long time one of those toxic relationships that was comfortable, and so we were both needing each other in an old stagnant place, and I'm sure getting various things from that. But I am really deliberately trying to grow into a more compassionate to myself and others, and more uplifted and uplifting state. And so in that regard, I'm trying to do a better job of teaching myself and others how to treat me by how I treat myself and others. And so, yeah, that's my 2 cents for today. That was maybe my longest 2 cents ever. I hope maybe you could let me know what you think down in the comments below. Are you happy with your relationships? And if not, are you going to make them better, or are you going to put up a boundary and get rid of them, or do you think that's even up to you? Let me know what you think. I'd be interested to hear. Till next time, peace.